Hi, it's a new Sarah Fraser Show podcast. How are you? Sending you the best of vibes that you guys have all been sending me. We have a lot to get to today, and then I'm out the door. You know, I got to keep going for my blood draws. I had a miscarriage, my fourth at 9 weeks. They want to make sure my HCG is coming down. I don't know. My body loves being pregnant. I just got to get it to stay pregnant. So anyway, I'm off to a blood test, and I'm sending you all the love that you all sent me this week in dealing with a fourth miscarriage. I love you guys. You guys are so awesome. And people say, oh, Sarah, you're brave to put it out there. I'm not. If it helps one person, terrific. And first of all, I can't keep a secret. I mean, that's why I do a gossip podcast. But it sucks. And I am, the happiest and also jealous for any 43-year-old woman that gets pregnant and has a healthy baby. God bless you. Like, you are so lucky. And don't wait. Oh, my God. Now, my doctor used to tell me, my OBGYN since I was 25, she was like, get pregnant. Don't wait. Get pregnant. I never listened to her because I hated children until I turned 35. And then my biological clock kicked in. Now I want 3 kids. So I got to acquire 2 more. I am becoming a resource parent here in LA, which is the new term for foster parents. Nobody's a foster parent anymore. You're a resource family. Please try Jelly Roll. What am I getting? Oh, please try Royal Jelly. I have dyslexia. Someone goes, please try Royal Jelly. What am I supposed to do with it? Eat it or put it on my womb or what? Put it in my hoo-ha? What am I supposed to do with it? Anyway. So please try Jelly Roll. I'm like, what, does Jelly Roll get people pregnant? I saw Bunny's story about IVF. All right, back to it. Anyhow, the long and the short is nobody wants to hear more about me. I love you. I hope your life is unfolding with ease, but have the baby, okay? I didn't like kids until I was 35. I'm becoming a resource family, and I'm going to use my egg donor, and I'm sticking with condoms. I am looking for a condom endorsement. Is Trojan listening to this podcast, okay? I like having sex with my husband, but I got to wrap it up because we get pregnant, but it ain't working. Anyway, eat it. She says, eat royal jelly. Okay, I got to Google that. So look, I have breaking Welcome to Plathville news that we need to address. The Welcome to Plathville family seems to be imploding. Yesterday, 2 Welcome to Plathville exes, Olivia Plath and Veronica, who's not married to Ethan Plath, but online went by Veronica Plath. They have exited and they put out explosive social media messages yesterday about these men, alleging cheating, alleging abuse, alleging they are bad in the bedroom. Honey, toxic family, alleging that Isaac Plath is an underage drunk. Oy vey. I mean, it is wild. So what is going on with this show and this family, and how are they being exposed right now? We're going to talk about that. Teresa Giudice, it could be in major trouble again. She and Ruelas, who Louis, I met for like a hot second at BravoCon. He was lovely. I mean, very lovely. He thought I worked for NBC and wanted me to help him find Trey, which I can't lie. So I was like, well, I don't work for NBC. It's just like an all access badge. And he was so sweet. But they are now $3.5 million behind in tax liens. Y'all, does the IRS, okay, for anybody that's on my live here that worked for the IRS or works for, or, before Doge got rid of you, what happens when you owe 3.5 in tax liens? Do they do a monthly payment plan? And I mean, the monthly payment plan has to be $25,000 a month. How is she going to come up with this? What happens when you owe a tax lien of $3.5 million? I'm live on TikTok, and the TikTok people are so smart. You guys are people know everything on this app. I swear to God. So Mama Deb says they put a lien on your house. Okay, so she's going to have to sell that house, which I think is worth $2 million. So that will at least get that going. All right, let's talk about Teresa, because everybody seems to be very into Trey and Louis. I mean, this has been brewing for the past week, but I didn't really believe it until people.com. People very legit. They've come out this morning with a story, and then we'll get to all the Welcome to Plathville tea. They have come out with a story that Teresa and Louis are several $1 million in tax debt. Oh my God. Oh, I mean, I would. How do you not pay your taxes? This is like the only thing you have to do in life. You pay the taxes, the IRS will leave you alone because nobody prosecutes harder than the IRS. I mean, look at poor Wesley Snipes. The guy didn't pay taxes. My God, he served 9 years and they didn't give him one day off. Jen Shaw, that crook, that absolute criminal of a woman who ripped off older people, she's every 2 weeks she gets reduced jail time in Texas. The government doesn't care about older people who don't have money. But you mess with the IRS, you go into jail. And this is like, I'm worried that she's going back to jail. Several $1 million in tax debt, according to records now obtained by people. So, again, bloggers, podcasters, they did the real work last week, okay? But now people and a lot of legitimate news sources picking this up, all right? It's always now the podcasters that are leading the way and content creators. But Real Housewives of New Jersey star and her husband owe $3 million in tax liens. Teresa owes $303,000. Okay, that's a little bit more manageable, all right? Trey is... Trey's on TV. She's got book deals. She's got appearances. She's got other reality shows. But get this, Ruelas owes $2.6 million. I mean, I'd divorce his ass so fast. Are you kidding? I'd be calling the divorce lawyer today. This comes 3 months after Ruelas was issued another lien for $163,000 in December of 2024. Now, this is 101, folks. 101 to pay your taxes. That went down in the Jersey courts on the website, which shows the case is still open. The reality star who tied the knot with Louis in 2022 previously served an 11-month sentence in prison in 2015 for mail, wire, and bankruptcy fraud. She has addressed her incarceration several times, saying that the courts wanted to make an example out of her. Well, they're going to do it again. They're going to do it again. I actually believe that. I do think the courts make an example out of famous and semi-famous people because they want to send a message to everybody else. Pay your taxes. Teresa had famously said, I know in my heart that I'm not supposed to be there. I know I only went because I'm in the public eye. Well, that's not exactly true. Your ex-husband got you there, and he got you there while your mother ended up passing away. I mean, that was tragic. Of course, Teresa's first husband, Giudice, also spent time behind bars for the same crimes, completing his 41-month sentence in 2019 when he was released. The pair separated after 20 years of marriage. Well, of course, and he's been deported. Now he lives in the Bahamas because he lived here all these years and didn't take the time to become an American citizen. We can't help stupid. I mean, come on. The following year, Teresa met Louis while on vacation on the Jersey Shore. The pair got engaged in 2021, and shortly before their wedding, Teresa revealed during an appearance on Watch What Happens Live that she and Louis were not planning on signing a prenup. Oh, God, I can't touch my face because my makeup will melt off. No! Who does this? I mean, she said, quote, I would sign a prenup. Yeah, no, if he said so. Oh, I'm so very easy about it. Teresa, you're worth so much money. Teresa, I can't help stupid. He definitely has more than me. I would never take anything from him. It's so not like that. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have more than you. Okay, now we're going to work the rest of our lives to pay off his tax bills. You guys, I don't know if I can keep doing this job because some of these reality stars are so dumb. Austin says, I'm lost. Well, welcome in. We're all lost here. Sarah says, what the hell happened? If you're just joining the podcast, if you're just joining the live, Teresa Giudice and Louis Ruelas owe the government $3.5 million. It is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. They could be looking at jail time. They're obviously going to be looking at probably liens against their properties. I mean, this is a hot mess and is now being carried by major news outlets and legitimate. How does she even have money? She's probably one of the highest paid Bravo celebrities on there. So I would say Teresa makes close to $2 million per season. This is the sad part. Real Housewives of New Jersey is on pause. So Teresa does not have that $2 million check. If Trey was getting $2 million this year for a new season of RHONJ, well, there's a huge chunk of there's their payment, right? Now, maybe I'm wrong because Ruelas apparently owns businesses. So maybe, I'm flipping out over here, but maybe Louis, his businesses bring in so much money that, carrying a $2 million tax bill is nothing. A lot of people have a ton of money. Y'all know. I know a lot of y'all are pretty wealthy on TikTok, or you come from money. So many trust fund babies. What did I do wrong in a past life? I need a trust fund. That's my goal, to make my kids a trust fund babies. God, I would have lived the life. I just would have gotten the trust fund money and been on a yacht. Okay, so Liz, who's very bright, says that she can file separately, therefore she is not responsible for his debt. Really? But they're married. How is that? Aren't you responsible together? So Louis, the Vinvia thing fell apart. This is a business that Louis owns. He still owns the party planner, $300K or something. Okay, people are weighing in here. Does anybody know if Louis Ruelas can cover this? Maybe Louis's businesses are so lucrative that this is not a big deal. You can do married and filing separately. Oh my God, here's Liz. I mean, thank God for Liz. She's running the IRS. Did I miss the Welcome to Plathville gossip? No, Liz, you're just in time. Another Liz. They had to know this would get out, and letting Gia go ahead with a new podcast is humiliating. Well, Gia's got to make her own coins. So I think the podcast for Gia is wise. And honestly, if Gia was smart, she ought to try to talk about this on her podcast to get as much ratings, as much downloads, and make those coins. If the debt happened after their wedding, then she is in debt too. Sharon, I cannot. Sharon, I think it is, girl. If this is income tax, he likely had it before her and she can file taxes separately. But has she? Okay, these are great questions. You guys are so good with taxes. Oh my God, I love how smart the audience is. Anyhow, that is the breaking news that now people.com, and shout out to it, like I said, the podcasters and the bloggers that actually broke this story last week. But now, of course, mainstream media picking it up, and it is not good news for Teresa Giudice. I mean, we could be looking at her going back to jail if they can't pay. I don't know. I mean, they have now a $3.5 million tax bill. I do think the IRS tries to work it out with you, though, right? I mean, I do think they go, okay, here, you can do a payment plan of $100,000 a month, right? For 3 years. Right? Don't they? I think so. I don't think they want to spend the money to have you go to jail. All right, let's move on to Welcome to Plathville, because so many of you are here. First and foremost, Olivia Plath is absolutely not back with Ethan Plath, and Ethan Plath has a new girlfriend. But yesterday was an enormous day for this show, and not in a good way. Okay, not in a good way. Things are imploding within, and the exes of the Plathville world are coming out and speaking out about the abuse, the toxicity, the cheating that these men all allegedly did. So let's start first. I talked a lot yesterday because Veronica, who is Micah Plath's ex, this is not Veronica on my TikTok live. This is another woman I'm going to tell you about in a minute. But Veronica was all over Reddit yesterday, basically airing out her grievances and the toxicity that Micah Plath put her through. And she mentioned it all. Okay. First of all, she says he's a jackhammer in the bedroom. Poor Micah Plath. Okay. But I love to hear about how people are in the bedroom. Mike apparently not good. Okay. Veronica has a new man. All right. So Veronica is dating a new man. Then this picture that is on my TikTok and at the Sarah Fraser show, you can go and look at my TikTok. It's going to be all over. This picture with a new blonde woman of Micah Plath is actually an old photo, according to Veronica on Reddit. So a lot of people sent this to me and they said, Sarah, where's his nose ripped off? Where's his nose broken? Well, Veronica Plath cleared up that this picture is old and that this woman in the photo, who we don't know who it is, that she and Micah cheated while he and Veronica were together. And he hooked up with this girl. She took selfies, but this picture was taken a long time ago, and that is why his nose looks normal. If you missed that part of the story, I was the first to break it. After Lydia Plath's wedding, and this has been confirmed to me by multiple sources, Isaac Plath got into a fight with his brother Micah. It was so bad, he broke Micah's nose and nearly tore off his nose. He required 6 to 8 stitches, although people tell me he should have received far more stitches, and nobody knows what the future means for his modeling career. Now, people have said to me, how do you know this, Sarah? Well, Veronica confirmed it yesterday on Reddit. You can go to a Welcome to Plathville thread and see for yourself. Veronica Plath confirmed that, in fact, the nose was broken, and she also alleges that Isaac Plath, who is under the age of 21, has an underage drinking problem. Okay, don't look at me. This is not like, this is all on Reddit for public. You all come at me. Your information isn't correct. Okay, well, go look at Reddit under Veronica. She's the one posting, and I've got the screenshots, okay? She's alleging that Isaac Plath is an underage drinker. She also alleges that Micah Plath is a cheater. He's terrible in bed. They had this epic fight. She has a new boyfriend, and Micah Plath is very jealous of that. She also goes on to take some very low blows at Micah, saying that her new boyfriend is Harvard educated, unlike the school of the Welcome to Plaths, where they're uneducated. That's terrible because that's Kim and Barry's fault. And she also says that Kim and Barry, and she talks about the entire family on the Reddit, are completely toxic. She doesn't use the term nut jobs. I'm using that. But she basically says that they are crazy. She alleges that they're, I don't think she uses the word, she says they're like, they're primitive, they're bigoted, all the things. But she basically says this family is so awful. She was sucked in, lured in. She thought she could help him. She thought she could change him. And in fact, she can't. They broke up after the wedding. Okay. Again, this is all public online. I will share the screenshots on my TikTok. So be sure to be following me at the Sarah Fraser Show. What was fascinating, though, yesterday, and I think backs up Veronica's claim that unfortunately the men in this family are very toxic. This is driven too by Kim and Barry. Kim and Barry need to take accountability for this. So yesterday, Olivia Plath explosively put out on her Instagram that she is a domestic violence survivor. This has everybody from Us Weekly to myself, talking about this story. But yesterday, Olivia Plath said that she is still finding the words to describe the extremely problematic behavior that took place in her marriage to Ethan Plath. Quote, last week, and this is all public on her IG, last week I shared that it's been 2 years since I started the process of getting divorced. So many of you sent messages of love and encouragement, and I wanted to say thank you. Olivia is 26 years old, by the way, and wrote on her Instagram on Monday, March 24th. It truly was the best decision for me, and I have received countless messages from other women saying that watching them walk away and choose better for myself gave them the courage to leave the situation. I am very touched. Olivia reminded others who connected with her story that they were not alone, adding that if that is you, know that you are joined in spirit by the countless other women who also discovered their worth, fought for it, and came out on the other side. Now, this was a lengthy Instagram post, multiple slides. She says also, which I think is very fascinating, okay? So many people assume that because my relationship was on TV, they know all the details, Olivia Plath went on to say, of what happened even behind closed doors when cameras were not around. They can't fathom that maybe systems, networks, or individuals would hide extremely problematic behavior that they aren't canceled, so that they aren't canceled. They also can't fathom that maybe I didn't or don't have the power or legal clearance to expose or even tell the unfiltered truth about what I experienced, unfortunately. Okay, so right there, if you're reading between the lines, she is alleging that she was in a domestic violence situation with Ethan Plath, and that she, because of contracts that she signed with TLC and production companies, she is unable at this point to expose the unfiltered truth. That is what she is essentially alleging. Okay. After documenting their romance on TLC's hit series, Welcome to Plathville, for 6 seasons, they are, of course, divorced. And she has moved on. Quote, I've shared a few surface level details here and there about my relationship and what it was really like, but I haven't gone into a ton of details because I'm still unpacking and finding the right terminology for what I experienced, she said on Monday's Instagram post. I'm not sure how much of the past to share as it relates to the present and future. I want to be honest with myself and other women while also not living in that headspace so that I can heal and move on. I'm figuring out my NDA and legal parameters. So I would say stay tuned. Stay tuned, because what she's alleging is that Ethan Plath allegedly was extremely abusive, physically abusive to her, and she is finding the right words to say, and of course figuring out her NDA. Let me tell you something about NDAs, because I've had one against someone that was incredibly, well, the person had one against me, Kane Show. Kane, may he rest in peace. He was very sick and tortured, so I've all is forgiven. It was such a crazy situation. But anyway, Kane had, I signed an NDA when I left that show. But your NDA, an NDA sounds very scary, but there is no legal recourse. The production company and TLC can do nothing if you are telling the truth and you were physically abused in a toxic environment. An NDA is really about not spilling secrets. It's about not spilling secrets. It's about not giving away season spoilers, all that stuff. But I think Veronica, Olivia, I hope they consult attorneys, because an NDA doesn't protect them from you saying the truth about your abuse. If Ethan Plath hit her, she has every right to show those pictures, tell that story, all of it. That is not protected by an NDA. But I understand it seems very intimidating. When I worked for iHeart, you'd always be getting emails, and they always, of course they're there to protect the company. So, they were always, you can't say this, you can't do that. You don't want to do this against Kane, And of course, what you realize when you talk to a lawyer that's removed from it is, okay, an NDA doesn't protect them from toxicity and abuse. So if I were her, I know I've never been in a physically violent relationship, so I don't know the psychological part behind that, but I'd expose his ass, because there ain't nothing that any network can do. And I've got news for all these individuals. The network is not going to sue you. They're not. They aren't. They're going to try to intimidate you, and you're not going to work again. That's what they're going to do. But it's not breach of, people are saying it's breach of contract. It's not breach of contract if you were physically abused by someone and they happen to have a contract with a television show. It isn't breach of contract to say that or to show the pictures. They can't, no company can force you to not talk about physical domestic violence. And that is absolutely insane. Okay, wait. Someone says, Just Jen says, yes, it is. I'm a lawyer. Jen, Jen, you, as a lawyer, if she has a contract with TLC, an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, she can't disclose that she was physically abused by her husband when they weren't filming the show? That's it. That's crazy. Absolutely not. Jen will tell us, though. Contracts cannot remove your constitutional rights. Thank you. I mean, she's saying in these Instagram posts that she was a victim of domestic violence from him, other parts of their marriage that people didn't see. She absolutely can tell that. She absolutely should. If Ethan Plath physically abused her, she should 100% expose him. 1,000%. I believe her too. I'm going to be honest, because I've just now in the past couple of weeks been so privy to what has gone on in this family behind the scenes. Unfortunately, I've talked to too many people associated with this show that I believe her. And I do. And I believe Veronica. Now look, I love the Plathville family. Like, I hope they get the help they need, because it's only hurting this family. And I think, and Kim and Barry are to blame. It's not these kids. They were raised in this toxic, crazy environment. Okay, I don't know where Jen the lawyer went. I don't believe her Amber Heard vibes. Okay, well, I believe her because unlike Amber Heard, Olivia Plath is sober. She's done work on herself. Amber Heard and Johnny Depp were both batshit crazy alcoholics, nothing but nut jobs that hated each other. And Kim and Blair, yes, Heather says yes. Kim and Barry they are to blame. They are. Now, these kids are getting to be adults. They have to take accountability as well and realize what they're in. But Kim and Barry have a very big hold on these kids, from what I have been told. Wait, what did Veronica say? Veronica said a lot. You're going to have to go back and listen. This is going to be a podcast episode. And today on the Sarah Fraser show, Olivia Plath has Veronica, whose last name is not Plath, but Veronica has been all over Reddit speaking her truth about Micah Plath allegedly cheating on her. Isaac Plath having an underage drinking problem, this family. I believe her, and I don't know who they are, but he looks like he's got some meanness. Okay, well, I don't know about that. You can't assume from what people look like. Oh my God, what have I missed? Summer says, a lot. People are saying my lunch break is over. Jen, the lawyer, says my lunch break is over. I may contact Olivia, see if I can read her contract. Jen, you should. But there is no way in hell that if a man who happens to be on a reality TV show abuses you, look at Mike from Shaws of Sunset, that nut. Okay, no, they have the right to expose this. But anyway, go and look at this. Yesterday was a huge day in the Welcome to Plathville space. Again, I've heard from multiple people this family has already filmed season 7. When is season 7 going to be out? Well, season 6 dropped in July. So season 7 will probably be dropping in July or August. NDA should not be able to keep you from filing charges against someone for domestic. 100%. 100%. An NDA just protects company secrets. It like, as long as you are telling the truth. I went through this when I was on the Kane show. To this day, 110%, Kane threw keys at us. He broke pictures. He kicked trash cans and threw them towards us. He took a baseball bat and threatened my co-host, Sammy. That is truth. They cannot prevent you from saying what is true. Now, if I made up lies, of course. But everybody knows Kane was eventually fired and sadly passed away. It was horrible. And nobody did him any favors by keeping him employed all those years. Okay. The hate for Olivia is crazy to me. How do people not see how insane the parents are? I have to agree with you. I find Olivia Plath to be very credible. I believe her. And I think that Olivia Plath, here's the thing. Here's how you know. This is to me the difference between Olivia Plath, and then I have to wrap up. But this is to me the difference between Olivia Plath and Blake Lively. Okay. Multiple people, and I know this because I have the proof. Multiple people from this show have come forward to talk about how toxic Kim, Barry, what these kids have gone through, what they've put them through, the cheating allegations. Multiple people have confirmed this to me. This is why I 100% believe Olivia Plath. She's not on an island alleging all these things and nobody else is saying the same thing. And a lot of the stuff that people have actually told me about this family, I won't share because I don't think that it's my place to do that. Blake Lively, nobody else has ever come forward and said that Justin Baldoni sexually harassed them, was toxic to them. Nothing. Jane the Virgin, not one person has come forward and said, when I went through it with Kane, it was, physical, verbal. He did it to every single person. It wasn't like one person was exempt. That was the way he treated everybody. Everybody knew it. Everyone was just afraid because Me Too hadn't happened. Time's Up hadn't happened. Nobody knew at the time that we should be getting a lawyer and documenting everything that the abuse that had happened. Multiple people have come forward about the Plath family. I feel terrible for the kids. They are victims of the abuse that Kim and Barry have fostered for years and allowed. And Kim, arrested for a DUI, still allegedly drinking. So still, even after a DUI, this is my problem with Shannon Bedore. It's my problem with Karen Huger. Like, you have a drinking problem. You are not, as a grown woman, you are not getting behind the wheel. You know, if you don't have a problem. And if you don't have a problem, stop. None of them can stop. So anyhow, Blake Lively, I just think, where's the proof about Justin Baldoni? Now, do I think that Justin Baldoni is weird about his religion? Yes, but that's different than sexual harassment. Multiple people have come forward to back up behind the scenes what Olivia Plath has said. I believe Olivia Plath. Blake Lively, I don't believe. I believe Justin Baldoni is weird, but I don't think that constitutes a sexual harassment. But I might be eating crow in 6 months if they go to trial and Blake Lively has a smoking gun. Okay, people are saying, and then we're going to wrap up, it's crazy how strict that Kim Plath was. When she changed, she acted confused about the damage that she'd done. Kim has serious psychological problems, 110%. And I can tell you from the start of this show, Kim, and if you guys remember, Kim started this family out in a band, right? So she wanted all the kids to be in a band. Kim is the one that pitched this show to networks. Kim is the one that wanted them on television. Okay, but you know, your family's mental health and what these boys are doing is more important than your time on TV. Olivia is a strong, everyone's saying, why is Olivia still on the show? Post-divorce, she is the show. Couldn't agree with you more. She's going to have a very limited role on season 7. So if you were not a fan, she's not going to be on as much. Kim, let's see. Ethan's mom was literally making credit cards in his name. Thank you. Thank you. If you guys recall, Kim Plath, and they were furious that Olivia exposed that. Furious. Okay, so Olivia Plath exposed the fact that she cut off Kim Plath, who was running an MLM, forcing Ethan to use his credit cards to buy her products and also become an MLM affiliate of hers. Using his credit, wanted access to it to try to make her MLM successful. Okay, thank you. Any mother that would do that to a son, you have an idea. And by the way, who is in the photo with Micah Plath on my TikTok? Okay, this is a girl that he allegedly cheated with on Veronica. They are not together, and this is an old photo. Veronica also said specifically she threw away the beanie hat that Micah is wearing in this. By the way, I don't know why the Plaths don't speak. Ethan needs to do an interview. I think the last interview he did might have been on my show with Olivia. Kim needs to do an interview. And actually, I think Kim has been on Kate Casey's podcast, I think. But they need to speak out, because if these allegations are not true, they need to defend themselves and say unequivocally show proof that this is not true. Because yesterday was an enormous day for this show between Veronica and Olivia exposing them. People are saying that there's no way that Kim and Barry will do an interview because they know they're wrong. Well, you know what? I mean, the days of like being silent and not defending yourself are over. If Kim and Barry are innocent and they have not done this, and the kids are not underage drinking, and Kim's not drinking again, and Ethan was never physically abusive, and these boys haven't cheated, come out and do an interview. By the way, they're also super young. So if they did cheat, I don't hold that against them. Well, obviously Ethan, because if he cheated, they're married. But I mean, Micah, I like, Veronica, I'm sure is lovely, but I don't know, young people cheat. I'm sorry. So anyhow, okay, that is the scoop. If you missed it, you need to be subscribing to my podcast, because for the past 3 days, it's been nothing but nonstop welcome to Plathville breaking news. Ethan almost got out from underneath his parents. And he went straight back. I mean, that goes to show you how hard it is to escape these toxic, situations for kids. It's really hard. Your parents have a huge control. And it's like, are you going to cut off all your siblings, your parents? It's very hard to do that. You're losing your entire family. And in fact, I give Olivia Plath a ton of credit. She and her sister have done that to her parents who are in a religious cult. And they've paid a big price. That's very hard to do. I love your family. I couldn't agree with you more. Look, I love my family, but I don't have a toxic family. I don't have to create boundaries with them. I probably should. I mean, they call me 24/7. My husband probably would like me to create boundaries, but I'm blessed beyond belief. My mother's my best friend. My brother's my best friend. My niece. I mean, grateful be my uncle George, who I talked ad nauseum about. I mean, Georgie and I were so I mean, never had a toxic moment. I have the best, greatest fit. My husband's so easy. So I feel bad for what they're going through. But this is a wild situation that's unfolding. And like I said, from Us Weekly to myself, we're picking it up today about Olivia Plath's domestic violence allegations. And other blogs are picking up Veronica on Reddit. Okay, I've got to love you and leave you. Bye, you guys. We will talk to you soon. Be sure to subscribe to the Sarah Fraser Show podcast. When you're there, oh boy, we're going to be giving away a lot of free coffee mugs. Go and leave me a 5-star podcast review on Apple. Hit 5 stars. Tell me what you love about the Sarah Fraser Show. Boop, screenshot it. Slide into my DMs. Give me your address, your first name, last name, your address. We will send you a free TSFS coffee mug just for showing the love show. Jennifer, go get yourself a free coffee mug. Boop. Go to Apple Podcast, type in Sarah Fraser Show. Please do not do it on Spotify. I know a lot of you listen on Spotify. Spotify does not allow a written review. Go and do the reviews on Apple. Boop. 5 stars. Tell me what you love about the show. Maybe something you'd like to see improve. And then screenshot that, slide into my DMs, The Sarah Fraser Show everywhere with your first name, last name, and address. And boom, we will send you a free coffee mug this month. Okay, bye, everybody.